The J.B. Hunt Million Mile Celebration continues right now with Mark Willis and Executive Vice President and Chief Strategic Officer Craig Harper and Greer Woodruff, Senior VP of Safety.
And right now we're going to be talking with two of the executives here at the company. Craig Harper is going to be joining us in just a minute. And also we're going to be speaking with Greer Woodruff. And Greer is the Senior Vice President of Corporate Safety, Security, and also the driver personnel. And Craig's going to be on board as well. Craig has been with the company for many, many years. And we're going to talk about things that are going on in the organization as far as sustainability goes and different kinds of applications that are available to the drivers out there. And Greer, it's good to see you, sir. I appreciate you joining me on the program to talk about this. And Craig, always good to see you as well. And Greer, I'm going to start with you on this. You know, the fact that these drivers have been able to achieve 2 million, 3 million, 4 million, 5 million accident-free miles, safe driving. Man, that's great.
It is phenomenal,
great testament.
And it makes everybody else's job easier.
Yeah.
When you have guys like that know how to get the job done, do it safely, solve problems, I mean, we are endeared to them, and we just really appreciate them.
Yeah, Craig, good to see you. And, you know, when you talk with these drivers, they're an absolute inspiration, aren't they?
Yeah, you know, you're dealing with the best that the world has to offer. So you just couldn't be more proud of these drivers, and it's such a blast honoring them and their family members, because, you know, it takes folks back at home, too, you know, to keep that household all together when these men and women are out on the road. But people like you talk to Michael and, you know, the others, it's just incredible. It's a great inspiration to all, and what a challenge to others to try to accomplish what these men have done. Because, you know, you and I drive, have a hard enough time in a four-wheeler.
A Prius.
Yeah, you know, but get out there with something pulling 53-foot trailer behind you with all the road construction and people cutting in front of you and weather conditions and all, to have that patience that each one of them talked about. And it's such a challenge, and I can't believe that we have these men that accomplish so much. You know, this week and next week, you've talked about it with some of the other guests, 78 drivers that we'll be honoring, and 115 actually were to be honored this year, but obviously a lot of them couldn't get here in time and make it, have other obligations. But you're talking about a 250 million safe miles. So great tribute to what they've done, not only for you and me and our company, but the whole country, and done it safely.
Yeah, you know, Greer, you listen to the messaging of the drivers and the inspirational points they were relaying to their fellow drivers out there on the road, you know, to fellow J.B. Hunt drivers overall out there. And I mean, there's such a connection. There is such a camaraderie out there in the trucking industry. You know, the four gentlemen that were on prior were saying, stay focused, stay dedicated, you know, don't let emotions overtake you, things like that. It's from that kind of a culture that J.B. Hunt brings to the table that can spread safety, the safety message across so many different areas.
That's right. Really, the safety culture is just shared attitudes and beliefs and practices of all of our employees, and those drivers really embrace it. They are the standard bearers for all of our other drivers, and man, they just do a great job. We're so proud of them and glad to be able to celebrate their accomplishment.
You know, and you look at the fact, like Craig, one driver's got like 5 million miles. You know, you think about that for a minute. It takes like on average, I think, 10 years for every, 1 million miles, roughly. And so the driver that's been doing that for a long time has been on the road for a long time. And to be able to keep after that and do that is incredible. An incredible accomplishment.
Yeah, and you're talking about 5 mil Phil, as we call him.
5 mil Phil, I like that.
Yeah, and he'll be in here next week. So he set a new standard, you know, a new challenge. He's the only 5 million mile driver we have. But honoring these 2, 3, and 4 million mile drivers this week and next week is a blast. And seeing those banners, you know, up with the names of all the 4 million mile drivers.
Yep.
And then also their name chiseled into the glass down there at the Million Mile Auditorium. And just the people pouring out today, you saw it, just folks lining the hallways, celebrating, yelling, screaming, cheering. And some of these drivers giving high fives. There's some tears that were shed.
Sure.
And I'd say even some of the people watching this, because, you know, that they see how much it means to these men and the women that we have, and it's so inspiring. And, you know, it's any time when you're around a true professional, and I mean a true one that really knows their craft and is so good at it, it's inspiring. And these folks we've had in town this week are indeed true professionals.
Oh, let me ask you this, Greer. Over the careers of these 2 million mile drivers, what has changed and what has not changed from a safety perspective?
Well, when I look back and I think, okay, what hadn't really changed? What's a core principle thing that has not? You can't replace a safe, skillful driver behind the wheel.
Yep.
You got to have them. And these people represent that for us. And then, applying sound defensive driving practices. And you heard each of these drivers talk about some of the things that have allowed them to achieve these millions of miles. And so those principles are here today, and they were here, 20, 30 years ago. Some of the things that have changed is the equipment. You've got power steering now, you've got electric braking, but probably more pronounced now is the safety technologies, the forward collision warning systems, the forward-facing cameras, the lane departure warnings, and those things that are intended to aid the driver. They don't replace the driver. You still need that professional, skillful person behind the wheel. That's a safety net. It's hard for us all to give the task 100% attention all the time. There's so many things in the driving environment. And so these technologies can help complement that great driver.
Some incredible changes going on, incredible things happening in the industry. But I'll tell you, Craig, the fact that the drivers see so many different things, they hear about rules and regulations, and they got to do this and they got to do that. But, man, they step up, don't they?
Oh, yeah. It's you and I were talking on break, just seeing Leo in here talking about safety and how they aren't going to let up. They keep talking about it, but that's a good thing.
Yep.
But, I think what the drivers saw this week, and we'd like all drivers to know, is that, here at JB Hunt, you're not an alpha code, you're not a truck number. We don't see you as those items. We see you as moms and dads and grandmothers and grandfathers and aunts and uncles and brothers and sisters. People. And it's so rewarding to see people celebrate the drivers, but also what is so rewarding is to see all those people that come out and applaud for them to really start to be able to identify with these men and women, as a true person, and see that face when they're out there arguing for a load or trying to get a trailer unloaded or finding an empty trailer or whatever else. Because once you can identify with that person, it makes you want to pull and fight that much harder. So anyway, couldn't be more proud of the group this week and look forward to next week.
And talk about, you've been here for many, many, many years. You've been here a long time with the organization. You've talked with so many different drivers out there. How have the drivers changed you as a person?
Oh, boy. A lot of them talked about it a minute ago, patience, because I'm not the patient person. But one of them told me one time he doesn't let anybody drive his truck. And I said, well, I sure as hell hope not. And he said, no, what I mean by that is I don't let their actions cause me to react in a certain way. Yeah. So I think that's one thing, is to be sure that we can all stay in control of our emotions no matter what line of work we're in. And these drivers have seen that and proven that, and that's why they've been able to do the 2, 3, 4, and 5 million safe miles.
Let me ask you this, Greer. How do you view the so-called shortage of drivers, and how has COVID impacted the number of drivers?
We've got 6.8 million drivers across the country. 4.9 million of them have a CDL. That's intrastate and interstate. And we saw a reduction in people getting their CDL last year, about 150,000 fewer. We saw the Drug and Alcohol Clearinghouse take a number of drivers out of the industry, and about 50,000 have not started the return to duty process. So while we have a huge demand for drivers as the economy's requiring more freight to be moved, we have less people available in the industry as a result of fewer CDLs in the Drug and Alcohol Clearinghouse. That's created this supply and demand challenge. And that can be good in a number of respects. It puts pressure on rates, and it puts that results in higher pay for drivers. Yep. So that's all good. I don't see that rectifying itself immediately, but supply and demand's always looking for equilibrium. So we will find equilibrium at some point, and part of finding that is adjustments in pay.
Are you surprised by the number of drivers that have not restarted out of the Drug and Alcohol Clearinghouse?
I'm really not. I mean, there's constantly people returning to the workforce who are rehabilitated, but there's other ones being identified that are exiting. And I'm not surprised, because some people have just made a choice that that's what they want their lifestyle to be like. And they're probably going to have a worse quality of life than if they were not using illegal drugs. and they'll probably choose to go pursue some other options.
Okay, all right. And these numbers are going to be constantly moving, correct, Annette? I mean, the numbers are going to go up and down. But again, the point of the Drug and Alcohol Clearinghouse is to eliminate or weed out those drivers that are applying or those people that want to get into the industry.
It'll
right?
weed out people that are not willing to change their lifestyle.
Yeah. Talk about the awareness that has been raised over the past few years about human trafficking and how drivers might be able to help combat this enormous problem. How does J.B. Hunt see this as the area of concern?
Yeah, it is a big problem across the world. I mean, there's 40 million people that are involved in some form of human trafficking, forced labor, or sexual exploitation, and it's been identified in all 50 states across the country. And truck drivers, J.B. Hunt and all the other drivers are in a unique position to observe this type of behavior, to report it, to give law enforcement an opportunity to engage, and they may save people, certainly get them out of that exploitation. And so we see drivers as being a unique opportunity to help solve this problem.
Yeah, absolutely. And Craig, the drivers are the eyes and ears of law enforcement. I mean, on so many different things. They're usually the first responders. They will see an accident and they'll be there before police and fire personnel get there. They can be the eyes and ears of law enforcement when it comes to observing or seeing cases of human trafficking going on. And once drivers understand what is trying to be accomplished here, recognizing these problems, they're going to step up and they're going to get involved. And that's what makes the driving industry, the driver population, so important here, is that they are literally the front line of America.
Yeah, the drivers are just so trained to be so observant, in everything they do, because it's so important in safety. So, yes, they're going to spot some things that other people would not spot. And, we count on them to help out in this area. And once you look into it, and it's really eye-opening. Greer gave you some of the stats, and then, Truckers Against Trafficking has a great website. You can go and see some of their success stories. And some of it is gut-wrenching. And there's a lady on there that's talking about that she never met the driver that turned in or made that phone call that really got her daughter set free. But she breaks down in tears, but says, "Wherever you are, whoever you are, I just want to thank you." So just know, pay attention to this. If you spot some activity, call Truckers Against Trafficking, and they will follow up on it.
When you look at the company going forward, Greer, there's so many great opportunities out there to bring new people into the industry, to get more women into the industry, more military into the industry. You think about trucking and the opportunities that are out there for so many different people out there. Is job number one for the trucking industry at this point getting word out to the mainstream population about how safe the industry is, the opportunities that are out there for individuals across all different spectrums?
Yes, I believe so. I mean, we've got a lot of great opportunities throughout this industry for people to come and drive a truck or participate in the supply chain in some other way. And, here at J.B. Hunt, we try to focus on providing the driver a better job and a better life. And we've got dedicated jobs. We've got intermodal jobs home every night. We've got a variety of different work. We have managers who are out in the field that develop a relationship with the driver, good equipment, commitment to safety. There's so many things that we can offer that I truly believe any driver that comes to J.B. Hunt is going to find at least one thing that improves their life, and that in turn, improves everybody around them.
When I'm looking at this beautiful campus, I see so many buildings here and so many different offices and departments at work here. Say if a driver that's been out on the road for a long time wants to make a transition, say, to the office, that they want to take those skills, say, being a driver going into safety or working in software, whatever the case may be. I mean, there's great opportunities on the inside as well.
There is. We've got a lot of drivers that work for this company that are in different areas now.
Yeah.
Whether it's in safety, whether it's in operations, a few in IT. We have some that have come off the road, and they're skillful and can learn other jobs, and we're proud to have those opportunities. And, as we grow, our company's been blessed with the opportunity to grow and serve our customers well, and when we grow, that provides opportunity for everyone else to have promotions and new people to join the organization, and it's just a breath of fresh air for us as we grow.
Talk about the military aspect of it, Craig. There's so many great veterans that have been in the military, served, and they're right here at J.B. Hunt.
Oh, absolutely. We love to have ex-military men and women join our ranks, whether driver, office, whatever. And officially, we say we have 18% of our employees are veterans. But I'm telling you, with drivers, I think it's more like 25% or so. A lot of them just don't self-identify. They went and did the service, and they figure they're moving on to other things. But, we love having ex-military here. One thing that you and I have talked about on the break, too, is about just all the people in town. That we have over 600 different work locations, and so these drivers, they brought in their managers, because even though we're a large company, have the benefits of a large company, you have that local feel, because the managers who you contact every day, they're off-site, one of those 600 locations, and they know you by name. They know about your kids and your spouse and all. So it's really, I think, working at J.B. Hunt's that's what surprises some people, is you really do have the small company feel, but the benefits of a large company. So I'd encourage all drivers, it's a great time to be a driver right now. And if you have any question about how you're being treated, call J.B. Hunt.
Let's get the websites out there, gentlemen. Got to get ready to wrap it up. Social media? Where can you find
the best place. We want to engage with drivers all across the country. It's J.B. Hunt Drivers on Facebook and Instagram, or you can go to drivejbhunt.com.
Outstanding, gentlemen. Got to wrap it up. Got 30 seconds left, and my thanks to the both of you. That is Greer Woodruff and Craig Harper with J.B. Hunt. Let's give them a great round of applause. That's going to wrap it up. My thanks to the folks at J.B. Hunt for inviting me up to come on up and visit with their Million Mile Drivers Celebration. I'm Mark Willis, and that's going to wrap it up for me. I'll be back in my home studio tomorrow starting at 2 Eastern, SiriusXM 146.